Previously on Beyond the Spark.
If you have first pick, each team will be able to have first pick. And so you can, Drew, you'll represent your team and choose the order that you guys want to work with the judges. And then second place will, oh, well, never mind. I guess I just told y'all who won. Shucks.
What? Drew won?
Okay. I'm a switch it up. I'm gonna go with Queen SHEBA first week.
Okay.
Okay. Jay Ward.
So, Dasan, it looks like you and Heather get to work with me first.
Month 3, last challenge. Everybody's on their own, and we got kicked off with the idea of Beyond the Spark.
For mine, I wrote a sonnet, and then I have a haiku.
Look at you.
Yeah, it's a sonnet, then it's a haiku, and then there's a part that I'm gonna have a singer do. So,
okay.
So yeah, I'm gonna just read it, and then I guess we can talk about that.
Okay, cool.
Since I was a young person, I've been intrigued with holding heat inside of my hands. Built this black hole, billion stars, black as matter, quasar after spark, and that's like a light match, strike a match, and then I hear a singer saying, "There is a spark that is burning in me. There is a flame and there's smoke that I see. There is a fire that is spreading around. Here it comes wild and it's loose on the ground. Built as black hole, billion stars, black as matter, quasar after spark."
I love that. The badass little kids playing with the damn stove.
Yeah. I was definitely that kid.
Like,
Yeah.
what the hell are you doing with the stove? That's so awesome. That was excellent.
Thank you.
That was really excellent. I as far as my feedback goes, just listening to it as a spoken word piece or a performance piece, I honestly, and I'm not saying this to be funny, I don't feel or hear a place for improvement. Now, if you want me to get to like nitty gritty editing, then you can email it over to me and then I could like look at the words, but I loved it. I loved it the way it was.
Coolio.
That's real.
Beyond the Spark.
Mm-hmm.
What'd you write?
So, I started playing with an idea. So I have I had to get the opening down, the premise behind it, because I was like, okay, which direction do I want to go? So the way that I decided to interpret it was, instead of the spark being for the writer, the spark being for the audience. And looking beyond that is to consider the artist. And the idea that oftentimes people get enamored with our art, but don't think about us. So hold on one second.
My husband is grilling,
Okay.
and it smells so good.
Oh man, that's a beautiful smell.
It is. I'm like,
Okay.
oh my God, I love this man.
So here's the opening. It says, "Y'all don't love artists, just the idea of it. You don't love artistry, just the feel of it. You hear people talking but miss the meal of it. So quick to ask thoughts. So quick to add thoughts, you miss the real nuggets. See growth and success but miss the real of it. Because the story of struggle is what you still covet. But have you ever decided to look beyond the spark? And so that was in trying to capture my idea. That was the opening.
I love it.
And
Doing some research because I was like, I don't know who this guy is. And then I found you. And I was listening to one of your pieces last night and I was in real tears. I was like, why didn't I do that? I have an idea, but it's not a full thought out idea. And I think it's because, you know, not knowing the other two topics.
Yeah.
But for Beyond the Inspiration, I kind of want to like, for this specific topic, I want to, I don't know, like I want to do a crazy video, like, because I feel insane. Like, I feel like artists are like on the brink of like insanity all the time, and insanity and reality. And I kind of just want to make it like a, I don't know, like a wild video in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, insanity and reality. Like like, do you envision that being very purposefully dual, like the sane side and the insane side of life as an artist?
Yeah.
Is that only visually, or you envision the work also being that way?
No, I'm envisioning the work being like that. As far as like, I don't know. I guess I'm hoping that like the next two topics will like, you know, bring them together. But Beyond the Inspiration, for sure, the writing in that one would definitely be both.
Yeah. So I think my advice would be to not don't look ahead yet to the other two topics and whether they will fit into what you have in mind right now.
The Beyond the Spark topic, right?
Yeah. I spent a little time with it. I feel like what I came up with is not necessarily it, but I feel like it's a poem to a longer idea.
Okay, go.
Okay. Does a bridge know how many feet have crossed? How many accidents have lived in the body? Does it know where people are going? Does it remember all the times it needed repair? Does it ever think of itself as anything less than strong? Does it grip the earth when someone throws its trash on it? Does it get tired of carrying people's litter of assumptions? Does the bridge ever question its purpose? Wonder if it was built for more? And who does the bridge talk to? Or rather, who makes space for the bridge to speak? And that is why when a bridge hits its breaking point, the community stops, because it assumed the bridge never had problems of its own. All right, that's all I got right now. What I'm thinking is, I'm thinking almost of like writing something about like personifying things that maybe normally wouldn't be thinking, like we don't have conversations with, and like thinking about like what is their reasoning for going, what is their reasoning for continuing.
And again, this, you know, the reason having coaches is great. Every coach needs a coach. I have coaches for writing, is that you'll get different perspectives from all three of us, right? So this is how I write. This is how I've always written, is what's the why? What's the problem? Even if, and I tell people all the time in my writing workshop, even if the problem is made up, even if the problem is there's too many dragons flying over this bridge, right? So what is the problem that you're trying to solve, even in this first one? Even because you're going to end up with 3 mini stories or 3 mini thoughts or 3 mini ideas. And that's a good conversation to have in the middle of your thought about what the problem is. So my first thought was, I want a tiny bit of a story, not even anything long, about the bridge? Did you see somebody jump? Do you like going over bridges as a child? Did your father used to build bridges? Again, this is poetry. You could make it up or it could be true.
The topic for this week is Beyond the Spark. How you feeling about it?
I'm feeling great. The funny thing is I think I have an entire poem about the spark. And I thought I heard Rhea say it's got to be new, which is not impossible to do. I think the problem will be is those flashes and echoes of that poem are going to show up. So the trick is to never go back and look at that poem.
Yeah. So the spark idea that you wrote before, was it literally talking about a spark?
More or less. How these kids were, well, the group is Inspire the Fire, and the fire starts from a spark, and the kids were the spark, yada yada yada. And I don't want to think more on it, because the more I think on it, the more I'm like,
Start to remember stuff.
I feel like that's gonna show up. What? And I know this is being recorded, so sorry, Rhea, but how y'all gonna know if I use the whole poem or not? At this point, I'm pretty sure it's evident. I'm just incriminating myself. But that part too, that's why I said I think echoes of the other poem are going to show up. If I never look at it, then I will not know until after the fact. So I think that's going to happen. I just don't know what the frequency of the echoes will be. I'm going to try to write it from a pure place of Beyond the Spark, originalness, if that's a word. But
wouldn't it be dope to take these 3 poems and write a contrapuntal in 3 parts, where each part is the challenge, but then it can all be read together? That would be so fire. And that's a challenge on the table if you have time for it in space. But that's a lot.
Yo, write that up in a note and then shoot that to me so I remember. And I think that's what I needed. I think I needed a challenge out of all of it too, just to see how I can make a difference. Because writing it is one thing, that's preaching to the choir. You can just do that in your sleep, but to form it up, I think that'd be stupid. Yeah. So shoot me that. Way to go, coach. That's what you do, man.
Okay, this is Heather. This is video for week 1. I'm just a little bit behind, so I want to fill in on my conversations with Rhea, who was my week 1 coach. Rhea is just, she really is just an inspiration. Like, she just works with whatever situation you find yourself in. And whenever you feel like you don't know where you're going to go with something, or that you need to pull back or whatever, she reminds you that your creativity may be the thing that helps you get through something. And so my approach anyway, I want to say that my approach to my topic this time around, the question Rhea asked us was, if you could write with anyone, who would it be? And my answer to that is shaping my entire approach to the topic. So the other thing that she asked us was, what poem have you always wanted to write that you haven't written? And so it worked out really great for me that both of the answers to those questions for me end up in the same place. So I'm taking the approach, which is something I think a lot about. And I think a lot about it with poetry. I think a lot about what are some alternatives to the way that we always see poetry and performance and slam poetry and spoken word. What does Beyond the Spark mean to me? In the beginning I didn't really know. Now it's really clear to me that it is what we do in our day-to-day lives.
because that was the whole idea in the show, was what's going on in that process leading up to this greatness that you see at the end. And I think it has provided a spark for audience members. I've gotten messages from people saying, I started writing again after 10 years after I saw, some episodes. And so that's a benefit, is that we get to be the spark, but then what happens like beyond that? Like, what's going on in our world?
Yeah, it's a big task, but I mean, why not? You know what I'm saying? Why not go beyond the spark?